Hello, this is Miss PSKV coming to you in the comfort of your home. So let's get busy. We're going to be talking about April 5th. April 5th, where everybody talking about nationwide protests. So come on out to the nationwide protests. Well, let me tell you something. When it comes down to this protest, I tell you, black people been protesting. It's like a broken record. But now we done got a little wiser. Sometimes protesting means just be quiet, be still, be patient, and just let the Lord, Yahweh, do his wonders. Because let me tell you something. When it come down to the protests in the 60s and black people was hosed down, I'm telling you, the hoses was running all over the place. And they was protesting for even liberal rights, just to ride the bus, just to be on the bus to sit comfortably after leaving a hard day's work. But yet they want to call us lazy. But yet when they got on that bus and they got to sit down, even if they were sitting in the back seat, they was told to get up. Now, we are in this day and time where everybody talking about the DEI and black people done fought for equality rights. And once they done fought for equality rights, guess what happened? Oh, we are still last, just like on that bus. We are number 7 on that equality. We are also last on the DEI. But yet now we supposed to get ourselves up, run out there and protest, and be the first ones to be arrested. The first ones to be what? Wore the hose down. The first ones to be landed in jail. So let us get it right now. There's so many of our black brothers came out of the 60s and 1965 when it turned around. We was fighting for our liberal rights for voting. And then turn around, it was a war getting ready to head up in the 60, 65, 68, 67, all this time when, we fighting for equality movement. Our black men went out there and they fought. They fought in Vietnam and came back home and still couldn't get a job. Now it turns around. They say, okay, we're going to turn around and you're going to be able to now vote. You're going to be able to vote now, to vote for your rights. So we get out there and we vote. And now what ended up happening? Time 1976 come in, you got to pay for tuition. See now, you see how it always end up with a spirit of downfall? A spirit of downfall. Time you get up and say, okay, we just got the right to vote, so let us now go in and we going to college. We get, what we want to get now for our education. And so they see the survey, oh, blacks are going to school. So now let us do this. For them getting these degrees, let us make sure that they pay for college tuition. And then next, the tuition went up, where it becomes so impossible. Yes, they gave us grants, but the grant still came in with a price. It still came in with a price if you didn't have a scholarship. So now we're talking about now in the 70s, after leaving out them 60s when we don't have trial, tribulation with Martin Luther King being assassinated, speaking his speech, I had a dream and all of that. And then we turn around, Malcolm X, preaching his preach, his teach. And we all trying our best to do the right thing. Medgar Evans getting shot down right in front of his doorsteps. But yet we out here voting and we out here marching. And where is The reparations. Where's the reparations? Where's the reparation to say that we now living in the most demeans, neighborhoods, no money, and then always want the black man to feel guilty if he get anything. If he get any food stamps, if he get any kind of support whatsoever, he got to be feeling guilty because you just getting a handout and you just lazy. All of that is some wash mess. It's not that our black brothers are lazy. It means that with common sense, they couldn't get a job. And the reason why they couldn't get a job because the system already was built up against them. And how was the system built up against them? Because right then and there, once they came out of Vietnam, there was drugs, there was heroin, there was methadone. And next thing you know, they was already on drugs. They didn't have the mind to think about nothing about no job, nothing about family orientation. It was all about getting that, It was always talking about getting that next hit. That's what it was about. And stealing and robbing what little bit the black communities already had. So now when the methadone programs got into where the poor communities, next thing you know, they all on the drugs. So when that drug started getting aware that they need to get off them drugs, what came in next is crack cocaine. Crack cocaine came in. See, now when he's talking about once they came out of Vietnam and came out of the army, they were supposed to get these good jobs. What they got hooked on drugs. If they had any injuries that was dealing with Vietnam, they was pushed with heroin. Next thing you know, they was addicted to heroin. Not because they want to just get high. Some of them, a lot of them came and got addicted to it. Next thing you know, they was bringing that addiction over to their woman, to their wife, if they did get married, or to their woman that they was dealing with. Next you know, they walking around, scratching their head, and next you know, sitting there, nodding, falling about to fall, the woman about to fall. All of this was going on. And babies was being born with addiction, black families. Now, we talk about black families, born with addiction. And now they say, the children got ADC. The children, something wrong with the children because they now being born with drug addiction. So now when they got all of that news about that, they say, we got to try something else because this is a genocide. We got to bring crack in. Now, we understand that black men saying that they at the push of the wall and we at the back of the wall and our back is against the wall. All of this here now going on. But now we got to look at, now they got the crack and they selling the crack in their own communities. They selling the cracks because now where was they getting the cocaine? They got that cocaine. They learned how to cook it. They learned how to serve it. Next thing you know, there was women's hooked on crack cocaine. There was men's hooked on crack cocaine. And all that in New York City, some of them was in the hallways. You couldn't even get through the door if you live in that kind of community. They was all out there selling their bodies, men's and women's, trying to get crack cocaine. And now we talking about getting out here now protesting. Protesting. But where was the protest? To say that we right now forgot about our forgot about our programs that never came. And I'm not talking about no drug programs. I'm talking about programs right then and there that when black people start getting on their feet and they start thinking, they start reading, they start getting themselves pulled together, this is when they turned around and said, all right, this is what we got to do now. So, Martin Luther King, what do you think the reason what is going on with the black man right now? Well, they need education. They need, education. They need the society to help them. They need all of this need. So a blueprint was said they need vocational schools. They need this. They need that to help them to have what? A skill. Next thing you know, the vocational schools get turned around and said, we're going to chop this up. We're going to chop this up. We're going to take a lot of this stuff out of the program. Next thing you know, vocational schools were being closed because too many blacks was now coming in, graduating, coming in wanting them programs, coming in and wanting to now have a skill when they graduate. So now we turn around, we got the blacks being frustrated on drugs, all of this going on, killing one another, all of this. And we're going to get up here and we're going to protest. Protest, a national protest, when they have not protested one time to say, give them what belongs to them. Give them the help. Give them a hand up. All of that. The Chinese couldn't read either. They was over there under warfare when it came down to the Chinese had them under that hand and pushing them down to the ground. Even America was doing that at one time. When they first came to America, when the rehabilitation of America was coming in the 1700s and the 1800s, they was being pushed down to the ground. They couldn't read, they couldn't write and all of that. And that's why they so hungry for education today. Because they couldn't read, they couldn't write, and none of these things, was going on when it came down to America, that they was helped building up and being put in a basket just to open up the cave, just for the train to go through, the mountains, and for they could be able to that we can go from one state to the next state. And those Chinese were put into a basket with the dynamite. And if they did not pull Mr. Lee up in time, Mr. Lee was going to be blowed up. That's it. I tell you, America built up on blood, aggravation, genocide, all of this here coming in. But guess what? And I'm not talking about against my white brothers and sisters. We got some good white brothers and sisters out there that are doing some good things now. But I'm going to tell you, when it came down to America being built up in the 1700s, whites had the resource. That's what they had. They had resource. They had the money, and not all of them had money, baby, because some of them came, from England. They was just poor as poor, and they ain't have nothing. They was trying to find a potato just like anybody else was trying to find one. You understand me? Believe me that. They was trying to get a potato to make a potato water soup wherever they could get. Now, don't think that all white people came to America and they was all rich and they got their name on all these buildings. No, baby. It was a lot of rich white poor. And they still try to come in and talk about the trailer park. I don't want to call them that because, baby, it's some good trailer parks out there that build up and they done brick them trailers up and all of that. And they done went out there and I tell you and made it, look fabulous. So I'm not going to talk about the trailer, but I'm just talking about, when they came over here. That's it. When they came over here, a lot of them came over poor as poor. But blacks, when they came over here, they came over here now to serve. Not by free will. It was to serve, to now get off that boat. Now you are the property of America. The property. So we didn't come as immigrants. We came property owned. All right? They came over stolen, became property, and then now we are now blood, sweat in America. Get that right now. Because once you stolen, it's just like you go to the lost and find. Well, we ain't found nobody to say they claim it. So now, let me tell you, well, get what you want to get out of there because we already waited for 60 days. We already waited for a year. And it's been just sitting there so you can claim it for your own now. Or just pay a little percentage and you can have it. You understand right here? That's it. That's it. That's a lost and found. So once a black Americans came over here, no, we are not immigrants. FBAs are not immigrants. FBAs are part of America. Time they put their feet on the ground. Time they put their feet off of that boat, off of that water. They became nothing but, what now? America. They became America, not immigrants, because now they was now owned. It was written in black and white. It was written in ink. It was written that, yes, they are owned, and that means their owner was now American, and that means now who he owned was American, and that means that we are not immigrants. And they was written in books now, baby. Written in the books now. And from state to state, whoever was buying the slaves. So now we're going to get out there and run. We're going to get out there and run. We're going to get out there and run. And we're going to go out there and we're going to protest. And time to get out of order is, baby, you didn't get the memo. You didn't get the email. You did not get even a message from Messenger to tell you, well, we're going to give a sign. Now, when we give up this sign, that's with all you now, all of you now, you get up here and we're going to abandon the protest and leave the blacks right out there and let them get the blame of it. Now, black people, you better sit down and you better get on your knees and cry out. All of you talking about going in there to crochet, you're talking about going in there just sitting down, relaxing, putting up your feet and getting you a pedicure and going in there putting your mask on, to take care of that beautiful skin, of that melanin and all of that you want to talk about. But baby, this is the time to pray. This is the time on April the 5th, you get up there and you start praying. You start prostrating yourself and praying to the Most High God, Yahweh, El Shaddai. And pray, El Shaddai, in the power of Yeshua, Yahshua Mashiach. Father, we ask you for increase. We ask you for prosperity. We ask you for overflowing wealth to come into our community, to come into our family. We ask you, Father Yahweh El Shaddai, for the health decree to come up higher. And food, where these food deserts is at, Lord thy God, bring food into our community. And we're not talking about the junk food that causing all kinds of harms to the body, that been steered right there. Let me just say it correctly now. That been directed right into the black community with high risk of addiction. So just like the cocaine was addiction, you got food that is a addiction. Just like you see the heroin was, they said, this will be better, than taking the methadone became, the substitute for the heroin. So let us now, switch it up and now bring another drug to try to get rid of another drug. And it becomes addiction. Next, you got coke, crack, cocaine, addiction. All of these addiction, Marley, and all of this addiction, and fentanyl, and all of this stuff nothing but drugs. And I'm telling you, this is the time to pray. Pray for our community to understand our communities. Yes. So let them get on that wagon. Get on the wagon to pray. Get on the wagon to pray to Yahweh El Shaddai, who controls all things. Pray about why is there so many gun violence inside of the black communities? Why there are so many black children, black teenagers, black youth want to shoot themselves, shoot each other, just shooting. Where's all the guns coming from? All of this here going on with all this here black violence on top of black violence. Wake up. You want to protest? Protest about the violence that's inside of the black youth. Protest to say, why is they not reading? Protest to say, why they not being educated? Protest to say, why is in our black community? See, they know that the black community, they don't have that money. They don't have that money to be going to college paying high tuition. But yet in the black communities, right then and there, you got to pay that high tuition. If you're going to CUNY, if you're going to any, into the state universities, wherever, you still got to pay that tuition when they know you don't even have the money.